Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to present two different topics about education. First of all, learner needs, and second, total physical response method. Okay? First of all, learner needs. In learner needs, we can find some different kinds of learner needs. One of the most important reasons to know that is the learner is one of the most important elements in the classroom. But for this reason, we should know the different kind of learner needs. There are three different kind of learner needs. First, personal needs. Second, learning needs. And finally, we can find future professional needs, okay? And personal needs. We can find that the students have some different needs, okay? For example, the student needs to feel security. The teacher needs to do a security environment. Also, the learner needs to feel or to do some challenges in the classroom. Also, the expectation about the classroom is important for them, and the goals. The goals support their learning. It's important because the students sometimes forget about the classroom. And finally, we can find a specific psychological needs and physical needs. In the reasons about personal needs, we can find there are some different reasons. Those are age, gender, cultural background, expectation about the classroom, motivation, and personality. Okay. Second, we speak about I speak about the learning needs. In learning needs, we can find that the teacher needs to know the specific way for learning. Also, we need to know the specific sub skills to develop the specific sub skills. Also, we need to know the different kind of exams and strategies in the classroom. And finally, we can find and we consider uh, the learner autonomy. In the reason, we can find that one of the most important reasons for learning need is the past language learning experience. Also, the also the level of knowledge and the level of skills. Finally, the level of the capacity of the students to do the exam of time, because some students do the exam in more time than others. Uh, Finally, future professional needs. In future professional needs, we can find the teacher needs to know the specific to develop the specific super skills. Also, we need to know to develop a specific vocabulary and a specific grammar. Also, we need to know the specific functions and a specific text type professional, because in the future the students uh, need to manage a professional language and professional requirement of language learning. Uh, in the future, the learners need learning a specific language for employment or education or training. Okay, that's all. Okay, I am going to speak about the second topic, total physical response. Total physical response is a theory created by Asher. Asher was an important psychology and he create the total physical response method in the 1970s and 1980s. It was a popular method because it speaks about the three different aspects of language learning acquisition. Um, the children, first of all, in that theory, there are three specific topics. First of all, uh, the the theory says that children learn or respond through the action before speech. After that, second step is the children can understand the language and respond through the action, only through the action. And finally, the children can understand the language and use the language, and they can through the language acquisition, and they can speak finally, uh, because they can learn in the natural way, and they can learn in the natural way, and they can use the language because they understand and they acquire the some grammar rules and vocabulary inductively. Okay, and I'm going to speak about the learner's role. The learner's roles in that theory is important because they become a good listener, because they are the listener and they are the listener and they are the commander in that theory because they follow the instruction of the teacher. Okay, the teacher roles. The teacher roles is it is not necessary or it is not focused in teach, because the teacher roles is creates the different opportunities for the children can interact and can listen the different commanders, but because the children can understand the different commanders and they can respond through the action, in that the theory that says that if they understand the commanders, they after that they can use the language in a natural way. In that theory, it's important to note that the materials is important to give the specific feedback to the students, and examples through the realia plays, role plays and realia plays, because they can interact with the game and they can interact with other students and can develop the language acquisition, the language learning acquisition. It's important to say the general objective in that theory is that the students can become a good listener and they can understand the language. Also, the theory says that the students can use the language and can they develop some basic speech skills or speaking skills. They're basic skills, but the most important is focused in the students can understand and can listen carefully. The procedure. First of all, the procedure in that theory is review the last class for to reinforce the knowledge. After that, know the new commanders, teach the new commanders in that class, because they need to know the different commanders or the different, and they can interact in the classroom. After that, the role change, that is the students interact with others and the students listen to the teacher and interact. And finally, we can find the reading and writing, because it is important that they need to know that uh, reading and writing, because it is important to the students know what they do and understand the language. Um, it's important to know about the reduce stress. Asher creates a theory based on reduce stress in the theory, because total physical response is a theory that the student interact with others through the action of the body actions, and the student can enjoy to language acquisition, and the students reduce stress. Also, the teacher needs to create a good environment, a safe environment for the children, and reduce stress and anxiety is important to the theory for to learn language learn. And in conclusion, it is a theory created by Asher, James Asher. It's important psychology, and his theory is based on the observation of the language learning acquisition of the children. And the general objective is to become a good listener and following the different commanders. And the most important, and the most important fact in that theory is language learning acquisition is important to learning, because it's applied in adults, and they can learn in a natural way, because grammar, vocabulary, and some rules about the language is teach inductively. And that's it.